This video was kindly sponsored by the Nick Morn Foundation.
The global population is expected to reach 9.7 billion by the year 2050.
And to feed everyone, it's estimated that global food production will have to increase by 70% over the next 30 years.
In order to feed all of these mouths, we're going to need an alternative way of producing food.
And vertical farming may just be one of the answers.
So my name's Paul Myers and I'm one of the co-founders of Farm Urban. This is our kind of first sort of commercial scale farm in the Baltic Triangle in Liverpool, and we've got 240 of these zip towers which you'll see. So each one holds roughly 12 to 15 plants, and at the moment we're predominantly growing leafy greens. So yeah, we focus on leafy greens for two reasons really. One is that easy to grow in this system, they work really well, they grow incredibly quickly. But the other is they're the most perishable produce. So, you know, this stuff, when you harvest it, really, it's only got like 2 or 3 days shelf life. But the way the kind of, you know, chemical industrial agricultural model works is they harvest it, it's grown in southern Spain or northern Africa, and then they put it into a plastic bag and they pump it full of gas to make it stay looking like it's fresh, but actually when you get it home, open up the bag, those gases come out, the oxygen gets in, and it's brown mush within a few days. So the idea is, if you grow these most perishable produce, like the leafy greens and the herbs, closest to where they're being consumed, that makes the most sense because they're kind of the most wasted. So current estimates, around 40 or 50% of all packet salad ends up going in the bin, which is just hugely wasteful. Whereas a carrot or a potato actually grows really well in soil and it stores quite well and it works to be transported. So how I got into Farm Urban and what inspired myself and Jens to set the business up, I suppose we were both kind of studying at the University of Liverpool for our PhDs. So Jens' background's in computer science and mine's kind of human biology. And really I came at this from a perspective of trying to optimise human health. So I was spending years in a lab trying to develop cures for diseases that my research was kind of telling me, instead of trying to develop drugs to treat the diseases, actually if we took more of a bottom-up approach to healthcare and we started to challenge the kind of the root causes, so help people to eat better food, be less stressed, get more exercise, get outside more, then actually it would just start to improve people's health and well-being. Jens' angle's more the environmental, so he was kind of coming at it initially from how do we grow food that's better for the planet, and I was like, how do we grow food that's better for people, and then you bring those two things together. You know, I would argue that the food system is the largest contributor towards climate change when you factor in all the different elements. And when you think about the traditional model of agriculture, and what I mean by that is the chemical-based, you know, turning of the soil, tilling type of agriculture, it's a largest contributor for 4 main reasons. One, contributor of greenhouse gas emissions and carbon. CO2 is just one of many. Soil erosion is huge. You know, we're eroding the planet's soil, which is just catastrophic. The water use, and also biodiversity loss. You know, so we're losing we've lost about 40–50% of all species on the planet. They say we're losing a species every 20–30 minutes, and agriculture is the largest culprit for that because we're sterilising the land. So in my opinion, there's 2 ways you can tackle that. One is to do regenerative agriculture, which is gaining momentum, and I'm a huge advocate of it. And that's where, you know, you treat the land with respect and you grow food in a way that is regenerating the earth as opposed to, you know, depleting it of all its resources. And the other way is to bring the food production indoors. So you take the pressure off the natural land and you give the land back to nature. So it can turn into natural grasslands or forests or jungle, and then that will capture the carbon, that will regenerate the soils for you. So we bring it indoors in a close controlled environment, and we can be growing, you know, salads or mammoth leaf basil 365 days a year in a basement in Liverpool and get it to the people within a 3–4 mile radius. If you grow food in cities in a sustainable way, it has the power to reconnect people to really fresh, healthy, sustainable food. And kind of where it's at now is it's all about trying to grow food that's good for people in ways that are good for the planet. So we actually harvest the produce still alive with the roots on. to maintain kind of maximum nutrient density and freshness. And then people get that home, they open the box and they've got these living greens that they can, you know, graze from over the course of a week. So in addition to kind of the main farm that you see here, we also offer our produce pods. So they work really well in the classroom, so we kind of think of those as a living lab, and our mission is to get them into every school in the country, and we've got a wraparound education program for primary school and secondary school, which really challenges students to kind of become community activists and raises the question, how do you get local sustainable food production into your community? That's the primary school program, and then the secondary school program is more about eco-innovators and eco-entrepreneurs. So it challenges students to set up their own little eco-enterprise, and they have to produce a business model canvas, a business case. We're always blown away by what these guys come up with. And then for the kind of commercial space, we've just launched our edible walls. So they're using exactly the same technology as you see in the main farm, just smaller vertical towers. And that, we think of those as satellite farms. So the edible wall systems can go into businesses, schools, hospitals, and it allows people to harvest directly from the edible wall and get access to that fresh, healthy produce, you know, wherever they are. So next steps for us, so we've just raised the investment to double the size of this farm, and really from the start it's always been about trying to find a replicable model. So we want to get Greens for Good as the entity, as the model down, and know exactly how it works, and then plant Greens for Good seeds or satellites all over the country and all over the world. So essentially we're working towards a social franchise. So we figure out how to do it and we just help others around the world do the same. Yeah, so the future of farming, I mean, I think when we set the company up I was really pessimistic and really worried about that. You know, food security is a massive, I think it's the biggest challenge facing humanity. And it's really scary and sad to see where farming's ended up. I think largely because of big corporations and you know, chemical companies, but actually I'm starting to become really optimistic about the future. There's vertical farms springing up all over the world. You know, there's organisations like Patagonia who are doing amazing work to promote regenerative agriculture, and just I think people are, you know, they're aware of this stuff now, and then once people know the problem, then, you know, creativity, ingenuity, people are problem solvers, and I think as a population we will solve the problem and we will find a solution. So I'm actually really excited for the, you know, to see what the next 30, 40 years has in store.
Sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this from us.
Let us know where you'd like us to go in the next video, down in the comments. Thank you for watching.